So, managing a small business. Now, I've been managing my whole barber business on campus for the last 3 years now. I'm a senior in college, and juggling classes, while sports, and managing a business can get pretty hectic. So I want to give you guys a few tips to how to manage a business effectively, how to handle clients, how to handle finances, how to schedule appointments, the whole nine. These tips are in no particular order from most important to least important, but what comes to mind first is organization. You have to know your schedule to a T. If you're in college, you have to manage your client schedule with, if you're on a sports team, your sports schedule on top of your class schedule. Know your stuff to a T. You don't want to schedule an appointment during the same time that you have a class. It looks unprofessional, so handle your business first and understand what you have going on around you. And remember the appointments that you schedule, whether you have to pencil it down in a notebook or write it down digitally in your cell phone, in your calendars. Make sure you keep track of the clients and the appointments that you have scheduled for a day. I use my cell phone, so I use the Notes app for my Samsung phone, and sometimes I'll even write in a notebook. Now, YouTube is a business for me right now. Granted, I'm not getting paid for it, but I'm preparing for it. So I write down all of my notes in this little notebook just to keep me organized. Whether it's a YouTube idea, my statistics, I keep it all organized and I know what's going on. Organization is key within any facet of life. Now, secondly, finances. As the famous quote says, you have to spend money in order to make it. When I first started cutting hair, I had, the little cheap ones to begin. But when I researched, good clippers, I was a little worried to invest in my business because I didn't want to spend $200+ on trimmers, new clippers, razors, whatever I needed to cut hair. But I realized I needed to invest in the equipment that I owned. So I had to spend money in order to make it. I had spent $250 on those clippers. I think it was actually more than that. And within, I'd say like the first 2 weeks that I came back on campus, I made it back and then some. So you have to realize that whatever money you invest in a business, you have to be very ingrained in the process to make that money back. You have to take it very seriously. But first things first, don't be afraid to spend money for what's important. And then that leads to my next tip, which is to track your money. Now, of course, when you start a business, the whole goal of it is to make a profit, right? So you need to keep track of how much money you're making versus how much money you're spending. Keep track of my finances and how much money I'm gaining through my clients. Of course, I'll write the client's name down. I'll write how much they paid me for the haircut, and I'll put what type of payment they paid me with. Mobile payments are becoming very, very, very popular through Venmo, Cash App. Apple has their own service to where you can send money to people who have iPhones. So I'll keep track of cash as well as mobile payments so I can know how much I earned through both. And then I'll sum up the total for the week. So for every work week, I'll list in my calendar or in my notes. So for example, September 17th, say through September 27th. I write the client's name down, how much they paid me, what kind of transaction it was, whether cash or mobile payment, and then I'll tally it up to see how much money I made in a week. Now, it's important to know how much money you make in a week so you can determine how much money you make in a month. This is all knowledge. It gives you a sense of what's a good work week for you. If I made $200 in 1 month and $100 the next month, you want to have some type of data to analyze in order to figure out why you made more money or less money compared to each month. That may be attributed to how many clients I cut in a week. Whatever it is, you just want to have the data on hand so you have more knowledge of how to run your business successfully. So the finance part is something that now I'm starting to learn. When I first started cutting hair, I wasn't really taking accountability for tracking how much money I made and looking at my expenses. I just kind of cut hair, got paid, and then spent the money. And then I didn't realize how much money I was spending. So again, it's just so important to know how much you're spending and just being aware of your activities. The next and probably last tip from me to managing your small business while being a college student is perfecting your craft. And this kind of is indicative of your price. You want to make sure that the quality of your service or your product is top-notch. Because if you don't have a top-notch product or service, you can't charge, premium prices, When I first started cutting hair, I would only charge, $10 because I was fresh and I was new. I didn't think I was quite skilled enough to charge a higher price. So I kind of put my price next to my skill level. But this year, I've obviously been cutting hair for like 3 years now, and I've increased my prices So you want to make sure your increase in price is a reflection of your increase in skill. Because if you're at the same skill level and trying to charge higher prices, that might confuse your customers because, you know, there's no value being added, you know? So just perfect your craft, spend endless amount of hours, whether it's researching or practicing. Spend so many hours doing that, because at the end of the day, your business is a reflection of the work that you put in for it. And what's the point of having a business if you're not gonna go all in for it, you know? So I think those are, you know, those are only tips I'm gonna offer. There's a lot more that can be said for each of the things that I've said and so much more beyond that. But you know, I'm trying not to make this video too long. But if you're going to college, if you're in college and you wanna start making money outside of work study, because work study is cool and all, but you know, another source of income is always welcome. If you don't know where to begin, you know, creating your business, just look around on campus and see if there's a need that you can fulfill. You know, if you want to do somebody's laundry for $20 and then, I don't know, do some type of laundry service, you can do that. If you want to be a barber and start cutting hair on campus, you can definitely do that. Just look around and see what people need and see if you can fulfill that, you know? That's pretty much all I have to say. Per the usual, if you rock with the boy, if you like this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel, click the like button, and write something nice in the comments. Of course, as always, I'll be giving you guys the next one soon. If you're new to my channel, it'll be comprised of fashion, fitness, technology, and barbering. So if you like those 4 things, I ask that you subscribe, stay tuned, follow me on social media, both Twitter and Instagram. Stay blessed and be safe, y'all. Deuce, and I'll be giving y'all the next one soon.